Sorry this is taking forever. I just attempted to have my son help me record and that did not work out so well. Okay, so we're going to pretend that my fitted that I already have put together is your pocket. You can see my marks for my snaps. We're going to say that's your pole. And then the side with no marks is going to be your jersey or whatever the crap you've got inside. So, all right. So you have sewn your layers together and you've flipped it back right side out. You're not going to have this. This is my top stitching. So we're going to focus on your elastics. You're going to mark. There's one of my marks for a leg elastic. There's my other mark for my leg elastic. It's going to be really long for you because it's going to be nice and flat. So what you're going to do is between those two marks, you're just going to sew a straight line following the curve of your leg or a straight line for your back. Do not do anything about that line right now. You just start at the line and finish at the line. You can do that with your other leg opening and your back. And then for your elastic, I don't know if I explained it well enough. I'll try to explain it again in the video. What I like to do instead of measuring for ones that don't have instructions is I lay my elastic flat while it's still on the roll or whatever you've got it on, flat between the elastic points, and I find the halfway mark and then I add 1 inch and I cut there. So if you have like say that it was 5 inches from mark to mark, you're only going to need 3.5 inches so that way the legs can stretch tight enough. And go ahead and do that for your back too so it keeps your poops in. Okay, so once you get all of your straight lines sewn, sorry, this thing does not want to focus, you're going to take your elastic, and pretend this is for your leg. I put a safety pin in about a 1/2 inch in because I allow for a 1/2 inch tail on either end of your casing. So that way it's kind of easier to tack it down and to change it later. So you stick your safety pin in, go in through your opening. Mine's closed, so we're going to pretend you feed it all the way up to your leg. And then you start feeding this through. It is so easy to be able to grab on with like your left hand and shove with your right. And then you keep pulling until you can feel the elastic through your layers, especially since you only have 2. When you feel it start to get close, it's working its way in. When it gets close to the end mark, stop. It's going to be loose. You just leave that safety pin alone in the casing. You bring it to your machine, tack it down. Go back and forth about 4 times. Call it good. And I like to go the entire width of that mark. And then you're good. You're not going to lose that. It's not going to get stuck in the casing. Then you keep pulling your safety pin until you probably going to have to stretch your elastic quite a bit and get your safety pin way up in the wing. But you're going to leave another 1/2 inch on this side of the mark. Carefully, carefully, carefully. That's why I pull mine way up into the wing so I don't run my fingers or the safety pin over. Hold it in place. Don't let go. Take it back to your machine and tack that sucker down 3 or 4 times back and forth. And then repeat for your other ones. And when you are done with your elastics in all 3 places, you just go through and you top stitch. Mine looks like crap because I don't care. I'm not selling them. They're just for my kid to poop in. So, I don't pay attention to whatever measurements they say to use. This is the wrong foot, but say this is the right side of the regular presser foot that's on your machine. I just line everything up line my fabric up with the outside edge of the presser foot, and it gives me just enough to top stitch, but I'm also able to get around the wing snaps and stuff without bumping and having really bad looking top stitching. So Hopefully that helps explain it. Obviously, I'll help explain a little bit more if you need me to.